and then I clicked on. So if you're a member or if you're watching these videos in succession, you would have saw me click off and then 1 second later click on, and now we're in the abridged version, and this is part of my process, and this is part of what we were talking about during episode 98 of Look What Jess Found. And if you're watching the abridged version right now without watching the long format version, then you don't know what I'm talking about right now, and you're totally confused. So I'm not saying to shut it off, but if you do click off and you go to episode 98 and you watch it to the end, you will see me press off. And then if you click this video on, you will see me turn it on. And 1 second later, from the long format version of episode 98, I continue the abridged version, which this is, and that's what we're going to do right now. But only those who watched it in succession can see that cool effect of like from one video to the next. And wow, that'd be pretty cool if I ended this one, then I started another one. You could go boop, 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 boop. I'm not. From the abridged version, which I'm going to show the significant findings. It's called Abridged/Significant Findings. That's what this video is of episode 98. Right from here, I go into the shorts. The short format videos from the significant findings, and then from that today we have something special. I'm doing an impromptu video, and that I'll put up right away. Which for those who are not members, that's your past. That was 2 weeks ago. So without further ado, let's look at. Let me have a sip of coffee. Put on my glasses while I have you here on the video. Okay. We only did 2 rolls today because I talked. Sometimes I just talk too much. I get the inspiration, and that's that. And that's how the penny crumbles. Okay, here we go. Let's move it over. So, all right. I have the other roll there. That's going to be the impromptu video. So today, with mostly zinc, right? These were customer submitted rolls that with the person who puts those little marks. I guess it lets them know. I don't know why they do it, but there's little marks on those. These are obvious. These don't appear to be, unless it's someone who's looking for a very specific type of penny. But they left copper and 1960s and some errors. They left it inside the roll, so I'm assuming that it's an unsearched roll because it wouldn't make sense to leave all these coppers in those rolls. And some super duper coppers that I save. I save these whenever when I find copper pennies in this condition. I put them in special rolls and I mark them AU, and I save those. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to show you something special today during our abridged version. I've been wanting to show these for a while. As long as I have you here, I'm going to show you. But this is where I keep the AU. I bought these special boxes, and these are I think uncirculated 2010s that I got there. But these are where I keep the AUs, and so I said so I got 6. I've done 7 so far. I'm on roll number 8, and you can see I marked them right, and I try to use the most vintage wrappers that I can find. I just want to show you that. I thought it was pretty cool. They sell these on Amazon, eBay. I think they're like $10 a piece or something like that. And that's where I keep the AU pennies. And so it's got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 10 rolls by 5 columns. So that's 50, and they're 50 pennies in each one. In this type of condition. So from 1960 to 1982, 19, yeah, because I don't put the 59s in there. I just put 1960 to 82, the 59s, if they're in that condition, I hold on to them in a separate place. And why is this penny there for? Oh, that's because of. So that was a little sidebar. And these are the significant findings from the 2 rolls. Not that remember, when I say significant findings, I don't mean that they're valuable. They're interesting. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, what's that worth?" Or that. My favorite is, "That's not worth nothing." And it's like, okay, I never said it was. You know what I mean? But whatever. But they're significant. And remember, as you're developing, people who are not experts in the area or haven't been doing this for years and years and years, you're developing your trade. You're developing you're honing your skill of penny roll hunting. And this is one of the ways that we do that, right? We put to the side things that are interesting, and then you further research those pennies, and that will help you develop um, vocabulary, expand your vocabulary relating to penny errors and variations. And that's all we're doing. It's not all about um, making money. You know what I mean? I've made no money. I have a little eBay store that I put some things out on. Um, but that's more just, as part of an expansion of the channel. But I really don't make any money on eBay because I'm not that invested into that. My main focus is here on the channel. So, for example, this penny here it's only worth, it's worth less than a cent actually, because it's zinc, but it has a beautiful toning to it. It has a beautiful full blistering of the surface, the field, and the cameo. It's misaligned die, right, from left to right. Has very little rim on the left side. And it's just interesting. You get to see the toning, you get to see the misaligned die. This one, is this the one? There were a couple that I found that, is this the one that I thought was, no, let me see. I think it's this one. I found 2 that were in really, really beautiful condition. This is one of them. But the one really that I think is possibly and you can see the difference, right? Between this one here could be uncirculated, but you can see the difference. If this one on the right it's either proof or proof-like, and you can see the difference. Here, let me put them, see if you could tell the difference right there. Yeah, you can, even at a distance, you can tell the difference. So this one, it's hard for me to tell. It's very, very close to being a proof. It's either proof-like or a special strike. It's not. I guess what I'm saying is it's not a business strike. Whatever's going on with this, and look at the reverses even, and of course on you could have a proof on one side, I believe, and a proof like on the other. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's not a business strike, and I guess that is the takeaway from this specific penny. We found, is this the one? Yeah. So this penny has the woody lamination error. Sometimes you can't tell by looking at them like that, but as soon as you angle it in such a way that it takes away the shine off the surface of the penny, you can see the striations and the impurities of the planchet. This one here is the one that I thought was. Is this the one? Yes. It has that blistering throughout the surface. I thought that was pretty cool. Let me just check that. This is how you check the rotation. Yes, you can put it up against the mirror, but for me to put this up against the mirror, I would have to get up out of my desk, have a mirror someplace, put it like this against the, you know. So very quickly, if you just want to check, you just go like that, right? As long, you can see the alignment of Liberty and the date, right? And very slowly. So you could tell there's a slight rotation, and most pennies have a slight rotation for whatever reason. This one is a little bit more. And what happens is when you flip them, right? Sometimes I'll flip them and it'll be like this. And I'll be like, oh, is that rotated? And this is what I'll do. I'll check them like this. And it has a slight rotation. What you're looking for, so there's we were talking about tolerance in the previous video for weight. The tolerance for rotation is 15%. 15%. So this would be, I believe this would be 25%. That would be 50%, right? So 12.5 is half of 25. So even a 12.5 rotation is still within tolerance, which is pretty crazy. Even though you would be like, wow, that's really rotated. But 15% is what you're looking for out of tolerance, which would be something like that. So that would be very obvious if you flipped the penny and you went like this and you saw it was like that. You know what I mean? You would be like, whoa, that's rotated. So that's one of the ways you can tell if a penny is rotated, or any U.S. coin, because U.S. coins, when you flip them, they're still right side up. Foreign coins, when you flip them, they're upside down. We found this beautiful 82. Whoops. That means it's true. Found this beautiful 1982 Philadelphia minted copper large date penny. You know it's a large date because of the 2. Looks like a candy cane and not question mark. I'm going to weigh it. I didn't weigh it in the first video. I'll weigh it now just for clicks and giggles. It is 3.11. We found a 1983. If this was a copper penny, right, I would have thought maybe that was a clipped planchet. But because it's a zinc, most likely that is just zinc rot. And that white color appearance that the inside of zinc pennies get is typical to how they look when they're oxidized, when they're exposed to, when the top layer clad copper deteriorates and or has blisters that pop, which opens up the interior zinc to be exposed to the elements, and that's what happens to it, to the point where, I mean, eventually, right, probably in hundreds of years, these will just be gone. There won't be anything left to them, because I guess the zinc that's on the inside of these, when it's exposed for long periods of time to the element, it just dissolves. So that's just that is the so they call that zinc rot. We found a red penny, or red-ish. No, it's red. It's like a very dark red brown. And you could see it's also on the edge, and that is, they call this either annealing or sintered annealed. And it has to do with the firing of the copper planchet, and the um, copper dust, as I understand it, and from what I've read. On the bottom of the barrel, the dust from the planches being cut falls to the bottom of the barrel, and then the planches on the bottom of the barrel have this dust, and then when the planchet is fired up, annealed, the dust gives it, the coating of dust gives it a different color, and that's where other, when it looks like it's paint. I mean, sometimes, I mean, actually, I've only found one with paint, and that was silver paint. But all of these that are red with that stereotypical look like this one, some of them are a little redder, but it's from and I put them in. I have a, just to show you. And as long as I'm making this a long video, what the heck? This is where I put them, and there's some red scents in here with the paint spirits, the odorless paint spirits. We found this one in a previous video, in yesterday's video, and I can't tell if the top, you see the top, it looks like it has letters. So either that is uh, either that's a dye clash or that's dirt. I can't tell. So, instead of just chucking this, I'll clean it. You know what I mean? Because I want to know, and I'll put it inside this. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll open this up very quickly. And then I'm going to do a special, and then I'll shake it up. I don't keep too much mineral spirits in there, because in case it breaks, I don't want to have a big dangerous mess in the room. And I keep it on the floor, so that way it can't fall and break either. But you have to be very careful with any chemicals, and you always want to use a ventilated room. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just flip this over so I'm not talking to a desk. What I'll do is, I'll do a special video. Look at my hair. Oh my God. What a mess. I'm waiting for my hair to grow long enough so I could put it back like that, if my wife will allow me to. So I put the ones that I want cleaned, I put inside the mineral spirits, and we'll do a special video outside. Maybe I'll do it live. I don't know. And then we'll take them out. We'll check them out, and I'll do all kinds of weird stuff. Some of them I'm going to take a copper brush to, and to show you what not to do. You know what I'm saying? But some of them, especially the ones that, like that one there, they had the dirt. I was like, oh, so when I clean it, if I see the letters, I'll know it's not. If I see the letters, I'll know it's a dye clash, and then it's a valuable penny. But if they go away and it's just dirt, stridation marks, that went in a certain angle, which happens, right? They just form lines for some reason. Then maybe I'll use that penny to experiment on, like with the wire brush, and to show you what happens if you use wire brushes versus polishing cloths, and that when you use I'm using mineral spirits, odorless mineral spirits, which then it's not odorless. The fumes are incredible. I remember the first time I opened it up in the room for like a minute, and it was like, whoa. I was like, I'll never do that again. That's why I'm going to do it outside. I don't have, I'm not going to do it in the house ever again. I will put the pennies into the jar, but I won't. Otherwise, I won't do it. And that'll be special video that we do. But that's what I do with So the point of talking about that was talking about this red scent, and I could put that red scent into here, but and you'll into the jar, and you'll see I've done this. That I've done before. So I have a video. If you go through my playlist, that one you'll have to go if you go into the playlist, excuse me, into the search bar, and you type in NGC, type in apology. You'll see the video where I cleaned some pennies. Look how dirty it got. Look how dirty. And you'll see the penny that I thought I sent it to NCG. I thought it was um I thought it was like a zinc layer over copper or something like that. I thought it was an error, and they sent it back unable to grade or identify whatever. And I was like, oh, everyone keeps saying it's paint. So I put it into this jar, and in that video, I take it out and I clean it, and I'm like, it was paint, but the red pennies, because some of them are super red, like that annealing process with the dust. Really, they're super. They looks painted. That's not paint, because if it was paint, it would come off from the paint stripper. So the one I thought was not paint was paint, and the ones I thought were paint are not. But I learned from that process, and that is what this channel is about. It's not about being right. It's about learning. And that's all I try to do here, is to learn and to share those experiences, because very few people are going to. Some people, yes, do go through boxes and boxes of pennies, and that's great. I mean, those are the ones who are learning a lot, who are very knowledgeable about errors and variations of coins. But the average person's not doing that. And here I get to share that experience on the channel with you. And it's a learning experience for me. Anyone who thinks they know it all is a know-it-all and doesn't know, and probably is really just showing their true colors, that they really don't know much. So here, if I say what I think something is. So even the annealing is what I think, right? I read that someplace, and it makes sense. It fits to what I'm looking at in front of me. Is that 100% what happened? I don't know. I wasn't there when the penny was made. I have no idea. But from my research, that's what it shows, and that's what I'm sharing. My understanding from the research that I've done. And when someone leaves a comment, they go, "Oh, that's this." I'll do further research on that and fact check it, and then make my own decision afterwards. So I hope you enjoyed it. This was a very long, abridged version, and it was interesting. I will add extra material as I see fit. Okay, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.